Video take two. Um, I did a video earlier today, but there's some complications, difficulties, whatever you want to describe it. So we'll try this again. Listen as wisdom calls out, hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. By the gates at the entrance to the town on the road leading in, she cries aloud, I call to you, to all of you. I raise my voice to all people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right. For I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold, for wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. I, wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore, I hate pride and arrogance, corruption and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments. I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness and paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasuries. The Lord formed me from the beginning. Before he created anything else, I was appointed in ages past, at the very first, before the earth began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth their waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born, before he had made the earth and fields, and the first handfuls of soil. I was there when he established the heavens, when he drew the horizon on the oceans. I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs deep in the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the seas, so they would not spread beyond their boundaries. And when he marked off the earth's foundations, I was the architect at his side. I was his constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was with the world he created, how I rejoiced with the human family. And so, my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life, for whoever finds and receives favor from the Lord. But those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. Yeah, you're supposed to have wisdom. You're supposed to have wisdom. If you don't have wisdom, you're going to become arrogant. And arrogant is a no-go. That is the devotional for today. That is the devotional. So I was going to talk about hold on a second. I've got to find it. the negative experiences that I've had because of cerebral palsy. That's what I was going to talk about. And I've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of them. You know, I've been helped when I didn't want it because I'm very independent. I have mild cerebral palsy. So it's not like I have to rely on somebody every single day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second of my life. It's not the case. If I need help, I will severely ask for help, or I'll try to do it myself. But mostly, if I'm not able to, or if I'm not capable of doing it, I will ask for help. Do not come to me and just assume that I need help, because I don't. It's always polite and courteous to ask first. Hey, I see you struggling. Would you like help with that? Do you need any help? Would you like me to carry that for you? I had one person, and he was arrogant, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. He just didn't understand. I had one person just grab my Bible and my notes and all that. Just grab them. Didn't ask me if I needed any help. Didn't ask if I could carry them. You know, wasn't being polite. He's just like, here, let me help you, and grabbed the books out of my hands, which I don't like. I detest it. I get highly annoyed with it. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've missed a lot of classes in high school and grade school. I didn't learn as much because I was told I couldn't do it. I've had a lot of teachers, though, in my life that believed that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. A lot of them were Christians, or I mean, they still are Christians. And they helped with my learning experiences, and they found new things. I had a home ec teacher. We were learning how to sew and using a sewing machine, etc., and so forth. And I can't use my feet, you guys. Okay? My left leg is completely paralyzed. I can't use my left foot whatsoever. And so she had this wonderful, great idea. She put the foot pedal on top of the table, and then I would use a hand. And then with the other hand, I would guide the fabric or whatever it may be. Which meant I kind of had to stand up. Because it's hard to sit and like use the foot pedal with a hand. It's hard to press down on it because you either press too hard or you don't press enough. And so I had to stand up and do it that way sometimes. And I thank her to this day because she believed in me. She was one of the teachers that believed in me. She would find ways for me to learn. She didn't kick me out of class because I couldn't learn something. You know, and a lot of teachers believe that, oh, just because you have a disability, they can't learn. That's not true. We have to just learn a different way. Anyone can learn. You just have to find how you can learn. You have to find what is best for you. If you're a visual reader, then, you know, me, I'm visual and I'm hands-on, meaning if you want to teach me how to bake a cake, then I'm going to have to do it as well, you know, because that's how I learn. Everybody learns differently. And I've been kicked out of class multiple times because of physical therapy or occupational therapy or speech therapy. I think I was in like a group therapy of some sort, I don't know. And that hindered my education because it was during school. It wasn't before school, it wasn't after school, it was during. And, it hindered me to a point where I didn't want to learn anymore because I've had teachers tell me that I couldn't learn certain things. Cursive, for example, learning how to write cursive, I couldn't do what they wanted, so they just said, "Oh, you don't have to learn this." It was difficult because they wanted me to bring two separate books home. One I'd leave at the school, and then the others I would keep at home because they didn't think I could carry my own books, which hindered me because when you go off to college, you have to carry your own books. There's no second thing. You can't just grab two books of the same subject and bring one home and then leave it in college. You can't do that in college. So that's what hindered me. I was like, oh my gosh, my back, it's killing me. Yeah, and I just refused. I was a stubborn kid. I refused. I was like, I'm bringing these books home. I don't care. My parents would get mad at me. You got these set of books at home. Why did you bring? It's like, because I want to learn how to carry my own stuff. I don't need to be babied, right? And that's the thing is, when you have a child who is disabled, do not baby them. Do not do it. If you're just learning about it and everything, then maybe, yeah, fine. But the older they get, make sure that they become more independent because that's what they need. They need to learn how to be independent. And I get it. Some kids are not able to be independent. Some kids have to live with their parents or guardians, whatever it may be, for the rest of their lives. I get it. I understand this may be a sore subject. But for me, I had to learn the hard way. There was no set of books for college. I had to learn how to carry my own books, plus a binder and pencils and folders and books and research books and all these other things. And it was backbreaking. I would fall a lot. It took a lot out of me, I'd be huffing and puffing to my next class because I'd have one class in one building of the campus. And I would have to walk all the way across the campus just to go to my next class. And I only had, say, about an hour to get to my next class. And by the time I got to my next class, I was exhausted. Because I'm carrying these books, I'm carrying this full weight on my back. That I was never used to because my school babied me. And my legs just hurt. I was using all my energy, and that's the thing is, with normal tasks, I use up all my energy. Walking across campus may be easy for some. I was asked if I wanted to use a wheelchair. No, I refused. I wholeheartedly refused to use a wheelchair because I didn't want to depend on something that could affect my walking even worse. And I didn't want to be like, oh, this is nice, and get to college and be like, oh, I don't feel like walking today. I'm going to, use a scooter. Oh, I don't feel like, doing this. I'd rather do this, And my college is a small campus. But it was just all that walking, to and from. I'm thankful I had some classmates that were like, hey, is it okay if I can carry your bag for you? And I'd be like, yes. And it was a lot easier. And that's what scripture talks about, right? We have to carry one another's burdens. When you see somebody that is weighed down, that feel like they can't do it, you ask them if you can help them. And, and I've had a lot of people saying, hey, can I carry your crutches up the stairs? Can I carry your book bag to your next class? Where are you going to? I had a lot of help in that aspect. And I was grateful for that because I couldn't do it. I was just worn out. So when I got to my next class, I was able to focus. I didn't feel tired. I was able to focus, and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And, and I don't mind that. But if you're just going to be like, here, let me grab your books. No, that's not going to fly with me. You have to ask. That is courtesy. That is something that we strive for. Do not take your child out of class. I don't care what the issue may be. I don't care if they can't walk, if they can't talk, whatever. Do not, unless you feel needed to, do not take your child out of class because they will not get the proper education. I did not get the proper education throughout school, and I graduated, got my diploma, but I didn't exactly learn. I failed every class my junior and senior year. Granted, I was going through a really rough time, and at that point, I didn't really care. My family went through a tragedy during that time, and I just gave up. And even though I failed every single class, I was still able to walk across the stage. And to me, that's unfair. That is unfair. I wish I was held back. I wish my parents said, was like, no, I don't think you're ready for this. I think you need more. You need to be educated more. You need to learn more things. I was held back in kindergarten, but I mean, what do we do in kindergarten, guys? Come on. But I mean, you know your child. Us teachers don't know your child as well as you do. So you know what's best. But I beg all parents watching this right now, do not allow the schools to just up your child. To say, okay, he's ready for 2nd grade. Your child may not be ready for 2nd grade. And that's okay. And you may have this parental guiltiness of, oh my goodness, I know my child's not ready, but the teacher says that he is ready, but I know for a fact he's not ready, but I don't want him to get made fun of. Well, guess what? Your child is going to get made fun of regardless, because he may read at a slower pace than the rest of his classmates. And getting held back is not, you don't have to be ashamed of. You truly don't. We all learn differently. I think I've already covered this, but we all learn differently. I'm a visual, hands-on type of person, depending on what it is. Sometimes I'm visual. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to see it. Sometimes people have to walk me through it. And that's the type of person I am. Do not let us teachers tell you other ways. Do not let us push you around. Do not let us say, okay, your child is ready for the next grade when you feel like he's not ready for the next grade. And that's okay. You can say, hey, I know what you're saying. I don't think my child is ready for the next grade, and here's why. And come to an agreement. That's another negativity about cerebral palsy. I know I'm trying to talk in general because I don't want it to just be about my disability per se. I want to help parents and grandparents and guardians and whomever, friends, family, whatever, throughout this whole entire world. I don't want people like, oh, this is just cerebral palsy. You're probably going to get that because it does say in Living with CP 2021. That's the name I created. It's not specified specifically on cerebral palsy. I'm going to give you tips. I will give you stories about my life and how I deal with them. What helps, what doesn't help. And everybody's different. Some things that help me may not help others. I'm not a doctor. So if I say, well, this helped me, and you're like, oh my goodness, you may want to talk to your doctor first, depending on how severe it is. Like surgery, surgery has helped me walk better. And if you think that surgery is going to help your child walk better, you may want to talk to your doctor first and say, hey, this lady, she has a disability, she went through surgery and she's able to walk better, but is this okay with my child? Because like I said, everybody's different. And, and things may not work. Things that help me may not help you. And that's okay too. You got to find out what works for you. But whatever you do, do not take your child out of class if you don't feel like he needs to be taken out. Do not isolate your child under any circumstances. That's what happened to me. When I was in elementary class, my school told me that I could only play on the swings because they were afraid that I was going to get hurt. And every child's going to get hurt at some point. So why would I be any different? Do not be overly protective of your kid, because they're going to resent that. I personally don't resent that, but I also feel like now I'm more cautious. And, I don't want to feel like I'm being overly protective. I want to be my own person. Let your child be their own person. Let them figure it out. Let them figure out what they can and cannot do. If you don't think they can do it, let them try regardless, right? Even though in your mind you're thinking, oh man, they can't do it. Oh, my child's in a wheelchair, but she wants to vacuum, and she can't, I don't think she can vacuum. But you know what? Hand her the vacuum and let her figure out herself whether she can or not. My parents did that. I was in a wheelchair and my dad's like, get out of the living room or start cleaning. That, I'm like, hey, but I'm in a wheelchair. What can I do? Right? There's a lot of things. You can vacuum, you can wash dishes, I can't really teach you how to do that in a wheelchair, but I can teach you how to wash dishes, not in a wheelchair, but I can definitely show on how to wash dishes. I'm not doing it in this video because I got too many dishes and it would take forever to do the dishes, like practically 5 hours to do dishes, because I'm not very good at keeping up with dishwashing. So that's another negativity about cerebral palsy, is people assume that I can't do something without even letting me try. And that's all I ask. I challenge you to let your child or grandchild or whoever it may be, whether they have a disability or not, let them try to do stuff for themselves. If they're like, hey mommy, I want to bake a cake, then you stand right beside them and you give them instructions and you say, okay, let's bake a cake. But don't do it all for them. Let them figure it out. Let them try. And if they mess up, guess what? That's okay. Life is about messing up. Life is about failures. If we do not fail, then how are we going to learn? Right? I actually did create a video earlier, but I just learned that YouTube is strict on music. So I'm redoing it. Hey, that's okay, right? So it was an epic fail, which is fine. And I'm learning. I'm learning the process of YouTube and how to use their videos and stuff like that, create videos. And life is all about learning. You cannot mess up and not learn. Let your child mess up so they can learn. I've gotten loads of great ideas from somebody in an email. And I was actually gonna do a video where I wash dishes, but like I said, it would take forever. And basically, I'm still not done. As you can see, there's a pot, and I'm still not done yet. But I'm getting there. And that's the other thing. That's the other negativity. I cannot just go, right? I have to take breaks. So it takes me like all day to do stuff. Because because it wears me out. Doing simple tasks wear me out. I did not get enough oxygen to the brain when I was born. And I don't know exactly how it affected my brain, but I do know the right hemisphere of my brain does not work properly, because the right hemisphere of your brain affects your left side of your body, and the left hemisphere of your brain affects the right side of your body. So complete opposites. And I'm not able to move my left foot. I'm not able to walk normally. Meaning my right foot. Meaning my right foot goes outward. So like your feet are supposed to be straight like this, right? But my right foot goes like that. And so like, let's say this is the side of my foot, and this is the heel, okay? I would be dragging I would be dragging this part all the time. But because of surgery, which was painful, by the way, I do not recommend. That's a story for another time. But because of surgery, my foot still goes outward like that. But excuse me, I'm tired. My foot still goes out, but I don't drag it. I just don't drag it. So, which is a good thing. Yay. That's another story for another time. I hope this video is informational. I hope it helps. And have a wonderful day. Have a great day. And be blessed. Remember, read Proverbs a day. Because Proverbs is the book of wisdom. And how do we get wisdom? We ask. Right? We have to ask God for wisdom. And, this whole entire book, hold up. This whole entire book right here, this Bible, right? This Bible has a lot of wisdom in it. The do's and don'ts. The, how do we become Christians? How do we get saved? How do we do all that, right? This is the word of life. This is what's going to get you into heaven. Accepting Jesus will get you into heaven. But we have to stay in the word on a daily basis to learn how to walk a Christian life. I have a weekly devotional that I might be starting soon. If anybody's interested in that, please comment below if you're interested. Right now, I'm going to do Proverbs because I believe that Proverbs is a good book, and it has 31 chapters, and each month has 31 days. So it just makes sense to do Proverbs a day. I think it has 31. Let me double check. Ecclesiastes. So read Proverbs a day. If you don't feel like reading Proverbs a day, I would be willing to help you read Proverbs because I will be reading it. I don't know how interesting I would sound by reading Proverbs. I will definitely not do monotone voice. And that's not okay with me. So have a good day. Read your Bible. If you don't have a Bible, get one. Ask for one. And have a wonderful day. Like, share, and comment. And be blessed.